What's up? Hi. Welcome to another episode with me, Shashank Kodappa. By the way, today's not an episode. Today is a chill session that we're going to do sitting together, doing a quick weekend research session. There are a lot of things that have happened over the weekend. It's going to be a very tough week ahead. So for all the guys who are bracing yourself for the next 1 week or the next 2 weeks, be very careful because अभी थोड़ा गड़बड़ होने वाला है, right? And I'm going to tell you what the गड़बड़ होने वाला is also. So be very careful about that. So today what we're going to do, very simple, we're going to first look at Laurus Labs. The result came out. The stock initially reacted very negatively. Okay, now look at this weird thing that happened with Laurus Labs, right? The stock reacted very negatively when the result came out. It went down by around 2-3%. And after the conference call that happened with the promoters, the stock started going up by 2%. Right now, the question here to understand is there so much difference in the stock, right? Is there so much difference that if you come with, say for example, just the results and see the results and it goes down, but then you see suddenly it's going up, then it is something off, right? So we need to understand what happened in the conference call for the stock price to start moving up by 2%, right? This is very big. It's not a small thing. So this is a couple of things we're going to look at. Apart from that, today we will also, if we have little more time, we will also look at what happened with Warren Buffett's event yesterday. So Warren Buffett actually had the Berkshire Hathaway event. One sec. Had the Berkshire Hathaway event where he kept giving a lot of insights into the market, and he again spoke about inflation, he spoke about this, and they also had a loss year. Okay, so the quarter that happened right now was actually a loss quarter, and we will see where he's increased his stake, what he's doing with the extra cash that he has. A lot of new things have come out from the Berkshire Hathaway meeting yesterday, right? So again, very important to understand what is happening there. So we will look at all of these trends because US trend sadly eventually comes back and trickles down into the Indian market as well. So we need to look at what's happening there. I think Deepak Shanai last night was actually there live tweeting the entire event. So I was actually following that, but it was very interesting, right? Now, quickly, let me just find. So again, couple of things that what Warren Buffett has also done. We will talk about all of that. But before that, let's first look at the thing that we're here mostly for, which is Laurus Labs. And to understand why did Laurus Labs go down after the event and why did Laurus Labs go up after the conference call, and what is the future of Laurus Labs? Are we going to buy it or not? We will understand right now. Okay. So I hope you have your coffee ready. Let's begin. Okay. Where's my browser? Laurus Labs discussion. Oh, not this. Give me a second. Okay, look at this. Now I'm coming back to the business news, right? So first of all, you need to understand what's happening with Nifty as well. Or if you look at the entire Sensex market, it has not moved at all in the last 1 week, right? ऊपर गया, नीचे गया, आगे गया, पीछे गया, but एक ही range पे it's been trading from a very long period of time. So last 5 days, no movement at all. If you look at the last 1 month trend of Nifty, it is actually in a declining downward trend, right? So both the trends we need to look at first. Now let's go quickly to the conference. Let's go look at the entire presentation or the results of Laurus Labs. Okay, then we'll go look at the conference call highlights also, right? So I hope everyone is ready. Now, if you look at the FY22 overview of Laurus Labs, look at this. So Laurus Labs currently operates in 4 different segments, and I'll talk about those. Actually, I can show you while doing this. So a lot of people who don't know what Laurus Labs does, it's in the pharmaceutical space. So I'll just give you a quick go through in this, right? Okay. So Laurus Labs is in the pharmaceutical space, and their majority of revenue comes from a drug that they do for HIV patients. Okay, and they sell this drug or antiretroviral. Okay, antiretroviral API. So it is called ARV API. So this drug, they sell it for HIV patients, and their majority of their audience in the for this HIV patients drug is in LMIC regions. Now what is LMIC? It is low middle income countries. Okay, low middle income countries, not the tier 1 tier 2 countries, the upcoming countries who don't have so much money and they're suffering through HIV. So majority of the revenue comes from there. Now apart from that, they do 3 more things. They do something called as FDF or finished dosage formulations. So that is something that they've just recently started, and the company is doubling down on this FDF model. Okay, so this is basically, again, you need to understand 2 things, right? One, majority of the revenue comes from the API, right, which is your HIV drug. Then they have backward integration where they do finished dosage formulation, so they make the formulations as well. And finally, they have the third business, which is called CDMO, which is again contract manufacturing for other companies. So if other companies wants to do some kind of research and all, they will help with that. And the fourth one they have is called biosynthesis, which is a new department that they've launched. Okay, so these four things you need to know first. Okay, these four things you need to know first. Now let's look at the result, because now you'll understand these four segments, what has happened. Now, if you look at their overall results, I'm just zooming in so that you guys can see it. The revenues of last year was 4,800 crores and the revenue of this year was 4,900 crores. So it's actually a 3% year-on-year growth. So can someone tell me in the chat, is 3% year-on-year growth good or bad? Okay, so 3% year-on-year growth is not good at all from any angle. You should have minimum 5 to 7 to 10%, and that is after you reach a matured stage. Lotus Labs has not reached a matured stage yet, right? So that is not good at all for a 3% growth. In fact, their EBITDA margins has fallen down by 9%, minus 9%. That means the expenses have gone up even more to make your goods and services. So your revenues are low, but your expenses to make that same kind of revenues has gone up, which is not good. That is why revenue should keep going up, because why? Inflation has also gone up. Inflation has gone up. What has gone up? Raw material price has gone up, right? So EBITDA gets a big hit over there. Obviously net profit and earnings per share also took a big hit, right? But if you look at the cash flow that is there, okay, now look at the cash flow that they've made operating cash flow of 911. Cash flow means paisa, straight away money that's coming after doing all your expenses. See, because they're still profitable at the end of the year, right? So thoda paisa bach jata hai, right? So 911 crores is cash flow right now. And capex, this is very important. What is capex? Capital expenditure. Last year they did 700 crores capex. This year they're doing 950 crores. Means they're improving and increasing their capacity and putting more and more manufacturing plants. So what happens usually when capex is high? Two things happens. Okay, let's understand capex first. See, we're going to learn today. I'm a teacher and you guys are students, right? We're going to learn today. What happens when capex comes in is two things happens. One, it depends on what the capex is. Is the capex being funded by my current revenues और मैं लोन उठा के capex कर रहा हूँ, right? So it's basically as simple as saying I want to build a new manufacturing plant क्योंकि demand बहुत है, but do I want to do it with my own money which I've made from so many years, or do I do it from a loan money? Both are okay, right? So own money is the best, right? Own money is the best, because if I have a lot of money in the bank account, I will use my own money and not take loan, so that I don't have to pay that interest, and that interest doesn't come on my company. So my profits are pure, number one. The second one, if I take the debt comes into the picture, and the debt goes back into your revenue sheet where your interest component comes in, वापस problem हो जाता है. It is bad for shareholders like us. So when a company is using capex from their own money, it is considered good. Okay, now let's look at this. Come down. Now remember that four segments I told you about, right? So we have all those four segments here. I'm going to zoom in a little more, right? There is FDF, which is finished dose formulation. There is ARV APIs, which is your HIV patients ke liye. Then there is CDMO synthesis, and there is biosynthesis department. Now look at the revenue differences here. First, let's look at the biggest chunk of money that they were always making, which is the ARV APIs. And they have been consistently saying in the last few con calls that this ARV API is not going to do really well in the future, right? So we are now diversifying into other departments. So they've been very clear about it. Now look at this. Last year, they made 2,600 crores from APIs. This year, they made 2,000 crores, minus 22% decline in their revenues. So they've lost 600 crores loss ho gaya idhar, right? Because this industry is not doing really well, right? That specific segment is not doing well because of multiple reasons. All these LMIC countries that had a budget for HIV have moved their budget from HIV to COVID. This is what happened. See how COVID impacts so many small things, right? Connecting the dots is so beautiful. So all the small countries said, no, we need this health budget जो 1 crore का है वो हम लोग डालेंगे COVID में अभी. We will not put it for the HIV patients that are there, because people are dying more in COVID than in HIV right now. So that takes little more of priority. But if you look at the FDF section, right? And this is what they're very bullish on. FDF they're very bullish on. 1,600 crores to 1,800 crores, 13% jump. That means this is a growing sector, and 13% year-on-year jump is a good jump. This is what we need to see. That is number two. The third one, which is the CDMO synthesis department, has gone up from 509 crores to 917 crores. It has got a jump of 77%. 77%. And leave that, the biosynthesis department, which they're also very interested in, went from 9 crores to 100 crores. But this is also because of the acquisition they had done quite recently. So that is why the 1,000 crore jump is there. But all this is fine. Let's understand the future. Abhi itna samjha that the main money making business is now going down, but the other new businesses that they've invested in is going up. So now if me and you were running Lotus Labs, if I had lot of money, where would I do capex in? Right? If I had to ask you guys, because we're learning, right? Where would I do capex in? Would I do capex in the API ARV, which is the HIV segment, or would I do capex in FDF or biosynthesis or CDMO? So you tell me, what would you do capex in, right? So let's look at what has happened. See this. So Formulation department में Q4 normalization, healthy growth, 13% we saw. Sustainable ARV business, a steady market, new launches and new products have also come in. Brownfield lines to get operational before 22nd Jan. So brownfield means more plants are coming up, and 22nd Jan they'll be operational for them to do more capacity. So whenever these plants kick in and whenever these plants start generating money, you will see a sudden improvement in the revenues, right? Now, if you look at APIs, what happened with that segment that actually fell down? Growth impacted from destocking in ARV business at channel level, seeing signs of early recovery and complete stabilization expected through FY23. Okay, so FY23 next year, they're assuming that this will become slightly stable. Now, other APIs are muted, expected growth rebound. So, this is not doing well for them, right? So that is not good at all. Number 2. Now CDMO business, right? CDMO had a very good 77% growth rate. Why? Because they expanded their CDMO capability and diversified their customer base. They also won new contracts to do research for other companies, multi-year strategic partnership agreement, and significant purchase order with global life science major. Now that is good because they won't obviously reveal the name, but this is what that would be, right? So this is again good. Finally, the biosynthesis. Now, this 9 to 100, don't get too excited. As I said, recorded 100 crores in sales, improved materially over pre-acquisition annualized 100. So, most of it was coming from the Richcore acquisition that they had made. Okay. Whew. Cool. So, if you look at their assets have obviously gone up by 1000 crores. So, money ka problem nahi hai. See, that's the beauty of pharma companies, right? Paisa bahut banate hai pharma companies. Their only expense, pharma companies mein expense kya hota hai, you know? The only expense is manufacturing plants, capex. That is why you'll see most of the pharma companies doing heavy capex. Because ek baar plant bana diya, so it's constantly they keep churning out the medicines and keep churning out all these drugs and they keep throwing it into the market, right? So their inventory cost is very big. So if raw materials goes up, these are the risks for pharma companies. Raw material is a big risk because if I'm buying something for a particular drug and the raw material of that goes up, फिर एक problem हो जाएगा. Second, faster they have to do capex so that they can clear that loan of the capex and do another capex, right? So all of these small things you need to look at. Don't worry, I'm going to go deep into this even more. Okay, I'm just giving you guys a superficial analysis of what is happening. Journey since IPO that they went in 2017, their journey has now been 21%, 6-year CAGR. 6-year CAGR, 21%. That means if you had invested in their IPO, by now you would have made 21% almost every single year and you would have been very, very, very profitable in your trade. And obviously the share price has obviously shown that same thing, right? Their ROC is now improving. Their 5-year returns is 467%. Okay, the 1-year return is 62% and they beat Sensex obviously left, right and center, right? That is simple. Now, I'm not going into quarter-on-quarter performance. Cool. So what happened was people saw this result. Okay, people saw this result and said, boss, maza nahi aaya. Right? Minus 9% in your main ARV growth. This is not good at all. And let me go to Laurus Lab ka kidhar hai Laurus Lab. I'll show you what happened, right? One sec. Look at this. So Laurus Labs, if you look at this, as soon as the result came out on this date, the actual entire stock price went down. That this was the day when the stock price went down, and then suddenly after the con call, the stock price went up by 2%. So even I was shocked. I'm like, result to kharab aaya. Matlab, what they're saying is now they're in a very weird place where the main core business is going down and the new businesses are coming up. So abhi wo transition phase mein hai, right? So that is what we are looking at right now. So why did it go up? We will understand now. Okay, now this major stuff you understood, then you can read all this. This is public information. Now I'll show you the private information, which is my information that me and Debjani have created. So these are the 4 things that we saw. Now look at the key strengths of the company. Obviously the promoter's knowledge is massive strength, right? Chava, Mr. Chava, and they have R&D skills, but also look at the weaknesses of the company. The key weaknesses of the company is that most of its revenue comes from that ARV API segment that we saw, and it continues to reduce its exposure by adding new business segments. So yeah, thoda time lagega. It's reinventing itself. It's sort of time lagega iska, right? So Laurus Labs does not have much pricing power in products because which it has significant market share. So they don't have the pricing power advantage as well. And bad performance in FY22, which was weakness, and high inventory levels and also payable days are very high here. So we saw the weaknesses of the company. Now let's look at what is happening. Okay. Now, if you go, we saw all this, right? I'm just going to come down. Now, coming to con call analysis. Now, guys, I want you to give a big shout out to Debjani here because she's gone through the entire con call and this was a beautiful con call and she's put 25 points that she felt was important so that it's easy for me to come and teach you guys as well, right? So this is all, you don't have to spend 2.5 hours listening to that con call. 25 major points breakout karke idhar dal diya, okay? I'm going to share this with you. Don't worry. I will share this document with you after this so that you can start reading about it. So revenues, so what they said in the con call, let's understand. Iske baad stock price went up, okay, by 2%. So let's understand what has happened. What they said was there was significant volatility in the cost of raw materials. So raw material price went up, solvents price went up, energy crisis happened. So that again they created a massive issue. Apart from that, supply chain and logistics issue also happened. Why? Because of the Russia war that happened and the lockdowns in China happened again. So that again affected them. So supply chain affected, raw materials also affected, right? This is expected to continue in Q1 and normalization is expected in Q2 onwards. That means this is going to continue in Q2 as well. Okay, that is number 2. Now, number 3, they have invested significantly in capacity and R&D and built new partnerships in CDMO. CDMO has grown by 77% year on year, and now they're expanding this CDMO business to get more contracts. So this is like a services business that they're doing. The third one, they forayed into new thing called CAR T cell technology and acquired a minority stake in ImmunoAct. And we saw this, they've acquired a minority stake. Now, whenever you have a lot of money in your bank account, and pharma companies usually have money in their bank account, they do a lot of acquisitions. So when you do a lot of acquisitions, you get nice growth rate coming in. Suddenly your revenues will start looking better, and then your share price goes up and you make billions and billions of dollars. So that is how it is, right? Now they are confident of achieving, look at this, very clear, $1 billion in sales in FY23 based on the product approvals they have, good progress in multi-site capex and order book visibility. Now what does this mean? Okay, $1 billion in sales kitna hota hai? Approximately 7,500 crores. What is their sales right now? Okay, one sec. What is their sales right now? Approximately some 4,000 crores ish, right? Look at this. 4,900 crores. So you're telling me that now in the next 1 year, you are predicting with all your stuff that you will reach 7,500 crores in the next 1 year. Why? Because a couple of things are happening. Couple of things, matlab their order book looks good. Their new multi-purpose plant is also going live very soon, and that is also going to come up. So they are going to hit a 7,500 crore capex, and if that 7,500 crore revenue. Now if they actually hit the 7,500 crore revenue, the stock price will fly because it has to start adjusting, and it is almost a massive jump, right? But again, it seems too difficult as well, because now currently they're at 5,000 crores, so matlab they have to go more than 20, 30, 40% growth rate chahiye to reach that 7,500 crore mark, right? So around 40-50% growth rate is required, but that we can see in the next quarter only, whether the 40-50% growth rate starts coming into the picture, right? Because 7,500 crores is very big, and if that happens, then everyone makes money, including us, including them. Understood? So this is what they have predicted, and he's usually predicted everything properly. Like he always says कि boss ये अभी खराब जाने वाला है, अगला quarter अच्छा होने वाला है, उसके बाद अच्छा होगा. So he had already predicted that FY22 वाला year will be very good for us, 22-23. So let's see, we don't know, right? Now, apart from that, they filed 1 ANDA and 4 ANDAs. The 5 products launched in Canada, and they intend to launch 2 more in the next few quarters. These are all small revenues that will come up. Validated 2 products for European market. That is fine. Now, this is very important. Okay. One of their brownfield expansion at Unit 2 is under qualification and will be ready by Q1. So, iska revenues will start coming in Q1 itself, or max to max Q2 mein aa jayega brownfield expansion ka revenues. This is a new plant. Now, sales from oncology APIs was 72 crores with a growth of 68%. They currently have one of the largest high potent API capacities in India, and they're going to add new capacities in the next year as well. And this year also they're doing massive capex, right? So again, 40% growth is insane. Yes, Souvik, you're right. Now, if you talk about the multi-contract that they have with CDMO, they executed some quantities in FY22. The capex for this project is on fast track. So they're doing massive capex on CDMO as well. Right now, all of that is fine. Now they're ramping up their fermentation capacity, right? Full operational benefits of new capacity will reflect in FY23. So ये हम लोग को अभी use नहीं है. This is FY23 में आएगा. We know a lot of things are coming, right? This year, what is coming, I'm interested in, because I want to see whether he will hit that mark of $1 billion. So they're doing some debottlenecking to further enhance capacity. Cool. Adding new fermentation capacity by the end of FY24. Again, for you to learn, for you to understand, but this is not coming now. This will come next to next year, right? So we'll leave that aside. There was a significant price reduction, approximately 10% in the ARV API and formulation, which led to lower gross margins. So the margins fell because they had to reduce the price of this product as well. Okay, so the raw materials obviously went up. So now, let me tell you guys another nice theory, or connecting the dots theory. Now we know that the inflation has gone up, right? We know that the raw materials price for everything has gone up, right? Leave this raw materials for this segment. I'm saying everything of raw materials has gone up. Now the Fed rate is going to come and aggressively cut down the interest rate. Inflation will start coming back from 8% to maybe 5 to 6%. If that happens, the cost of raw materials might go down. If that happens, the cost of raw materials goes down, then what happens? automatically your revenues, your margins of this company starts going up, because currently they're getting hit by the going up inflation constantly, the energy crisis that's going on, the supply chain logistics crisis that's going on. All of this will be solved as soon as the interest rates keep going up. So when that happens, the margins will automatically start looking better in the next few quarters, right? Whenever the interest rate starts hiking up in the next 1 year, this will start looking very good. Cool. Okay. Very hard to do live, man, and keep talking like this. Okay. Okay, now they believe that they need 3 things to achieve 1 billion target. Chalo, let's find out what they need, right? Capacity expansion that they're doing with massive capex, product, new products, and then the markets, right? That they believe all of these things they already have. They have the capacity, they have the product, and then the market. Now they just need to go up and increase their revenue. They've increased their capex guidance from 500 to 600 crores because they believe that there are opportunities in the future that they want to be ready for right now. So they're also increasing their capex guidance right now. Okay, they've increased capex guidance. That's great. Now the company plans to incur the capex of 2,000 to 2,500 crores with 1 billion revenue guidance for FY20. Implies 50% growth year on year, and they want to do 2,000 crores ka capex. Now if they do 2,000 crores ka capex, obviously 1 billion to पहुंच ही जाएगा, like eventually पहुंच ही जाएगा, right? So that is what it is. So major key points, okay, these are all the points, major key points. If you look at this, I will share this with you, so don't stress, don't worry, I'm going to give all of this to you. Remain affirmative on the $1 billion revenue mark. ये मजा आ जाएगा अगर यही है, तो we'll still keep our position and we'll be tracking it quarter on quarter, because it's not gone down too much as well. So I'm going to check that. Formulations is what I'm excited in as well. It's going up constantly. Apart from that, this is fine, this is fine. Capex is very interesting. This is also very good. Whenever there's capex, it's very nice, right? Bio improved, obviously, yes. All this is fine. Debottlenecking, no ideas. Okay, this. Now, reason for decline in performance, we've already seen. There was low sales in this department, high material cost. Is there any chance of improving the business? Let's understand both sides. बुरा देख लिया, अभी अच्छा देखते हैं. What is the chance of improving this business? The margins are affected with high raw material costs and incremental fixed operational expenses. Now what will happen is, over a long period of time, this will improve, the margins will improve, and the new sales will increase, new approvals will come in the regulated markets, and they will start making a lot of money, is what they're predicting. Now basically the raw material cost had gone up, so the raw material cost has to come down for them to start making good amount of revenue. Oh, 1 second, I'm going to drink water a little bit. Okay, now listen to this very carefully. Now we are going to look at some sector analysis. Okay, why am I looking at sector analysis? Is because what is going to happen in the future is very important for me and you to understand. Now let's look at what is happening. By the way, trend change हो रहा है अभी pharma sector में. Now branded generic drugs dominate the market, and they make 70 to 80% of the retail market. Basically what I'm saying is generic drugs like Crocin. Okay, Crocin is what? Paracetamol. ऐसा Dolo भी है, which is also paracetamol. So there are so many drugs that are very similar to each other with the same kind of formulations inside, right? All different types of paracetamol, but there are 5 different drugs. So the branded generic department is almost taking up 80% of the market. Now local players have enjoyed a dominant position driven by formulation development and early investments. ठीक है. Prices are very low here, because if I don't want Crocin, I can go to this, I can go to Dolo, I can go to something else, and they're also driven by intense competition because everyone's trying to fight for the same thing, right? Now, while India ranks 10th globally in terms of value, it is 3rd in terms of volume. That is why our medical shop lets the medical flow without prescriptions. Why? Because we don't use prescriptions, and in US they use prescriptions. Apna flow fast ho jata hai, right? You can just go to any drugstore and start picking up any kind of medicines. They won't even ask you a lot of questions, right? Now, why is the US generic business model not profitable anymore? Now in US, this was a very profitable business at one point. Okay, why was US a very profitable business for all the people before? Let's understand. In 2010 to 2017, Indian pharma companies saw a massive boom in the US market. Why was that? Because Indians came off suddenly as a low cost provider. कि हम सस्ते में बनाएंगे और raw materials China से लेके हम US में बेचने वाले, right? So India became a lowest cost producer, so we won in 2010 to 2017. Now, major drugs, blockbuster drugs. So a blockbuster drug is called, see, someone has to take 5 years to 10 years and develop a drug. Okay. After they develop a drug and put billions of dollars into developing a drug, they get a certain amount of patent for it. So there'll be like 5 years ka patent or 10 years ka patent. 10 years tak nobody can make that drug in the market. You will have sole monopoly for getting that drug out. But when that patent goes off and it's a blockbuster drug, you know that this is a damn good drug. That is when other companies can come and start playing in that same arena. Okay. So blockbuster drugs in 2010 to 2012 to 2016, lot of them were going off patent, and most of these drugs were making sales of $100 billion. So as soon as that happened, obviously our Indian companies, super smart people, came in quick to cash in and were able to take significant market share with low cost, especially dollars mein dena hai to low cost chahiye, right? Now, that is again very important. Now we had less competition over there because there was another side effects, because at that point the FDA which was there, the US FDA at that point didn't have a massive team, didn't have a lot of, so they were all short staffed, right? Now because they had a lot of short staff, the new drugs that were coming into the markets kept piling up. The applications for new drug application kept piling up, so the new drugs came low into the market and the old generic drugs were still in the market with less competition. So Indians obviously went and made a lot of money on the side, right? But then what happened suddenly after 2017 and now abhi tak kya ho raha hai, 2017 to 22 tak kya ho raha hai, right? What has happened is now the costs have gone up, right? Indians were enjoying this, but now the cost has gone up. Now the Generic Drug User Fee Act added additional cost to generic drug manufacture. So if you're doing simple drugs, there's going to be another cost to it. Now that cost is collected by US FDA as a way to solve their lack of funding and manpower. Smart, no? They didn't have staff. They said, अच्छा ये सब drug manufacturing companies जिसको आना है मेरे को ज़्यादा फीस दे दो तो मैं अपना staff बढ़ाऊंगा और उन लोगों को अच्छा salary दूंगा. Now all of this obviously adds to the cost of your thing. So the price power that was there with Indians now slowly started reducing here, right? Then suddenly, because these guys got overstaffed and they had a lot of people, all the new drugs applications kept coming in fast. And because of that, more drugs came into the market, more competition came into the market. Indians' power went even lower. Then what happened? FDA, right? Now FDA, I don't know whether you've seen this, but in the last few years, FDA has now told, US FDA has actually told people to travel to India and inspect all the Indian companies and go through their entire manufacturing plant and audit it. And usme 2-3 log fail hue the. I remember at one point Sun Pharma had a massive issue where their plant had to get shut down because it was not a US FDA approved plant and it was really bad. Now because of that, again the difference went even lower. Now raw material cost. Now this, imagine India was always very heavily dependent on China for raw materials. Now China में problem हो गया, and China में problem हो गया, power supply हो गया, power issue हो गया, COVID हो गया, all of this happened. Now what happened? Again the price of this went up, and when the price of the raw materials go up, our थोड़ा बहुत advantage जो था वो भी चला गया, and we were like, dude, what is happening, right? This is just अपना जो beautiful golden era था from 2010 to 2017, and that is where Sun Pharma grew like crazy, has now gone away, and now we have reached a point of consolidation. Now क्या है? Now you need to be unique. Now you have to be different, okay? And finally the buy side consolidation. Lot of companies just kept buying each other out, and that's it. The merger happened and the players became smaller but more powerful. Now what is the future of the industry? See guys, when I do such presentations or when I come and teach you guys such things, you need to understand everything. Okay, you need to understand 360 degree view. ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार आके लॉरस लैब्स का रिजल्ट पढ़ लूंगा या स्क्रीनर पे देख लूंगा एंड वी विल लीव. नो, दैट इज पॉइंटलेस, राइट? यू विल नॉट लर्न एनीथिंग, आई विल नॉट लर्न एनीथिंग. रीडिंग अकाउंट्स मी एंड यू बोथ कैन डू. वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड बॉस इंडस्ट्री में क्या हो रहा है एंड हाउ डू वी टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ दिस एंड मेक मनी. अंडरस्टूड? नाउ नेक्स्ट क्या होने वाला है मार्केट में? लेट्स सी दिस नेक्स्ट ट्रेंड फ्रॉम 22 ऑनवर्ड्स. नाउ most of the competition, now look at this, let me go down. Most of the competition right now is in the oral solid dosage form. This is a tablet and capsule, and you've seen this. Both competition है tablet and capsule में right now. But what is coming up now better in the new market is the gels, powder, lozenges. All of these things are picking up suddenly. Right? So whenever someone is looking at tablets and capsules, this is a crowded market, but complex formulas, okay, complex manufacturing dosage of injectable solutions, gels, powder, lozenge, complex stuff, right? Now that is going to be the next wave of killer. And the injectable business that is there can be majorly run by Gland Pharma. So Gland Pharma right now is in a very good position to take over this new trend or the new era that's happening in the industry. Right, so we know all of that right now. We will not see after 5 years that, oh shit, Gland Pharma इतना ऊपर गया, हम लोग ने देखा ही नहीं. No. We need to understand everything right now. So the next phase of growth for these companies is expected to come from complex generics, number one, specialty generics and biosimilars. We're not going to go into tablets. Tablets का time चला गया, अभी advance हो जाएंगे हम लोग, right? Now the R&D expenses will become higher. Now obviously if I'm going into this new era, I have to spend a lot of money to do research and development. The time required on these products are also much higher. Now that will take a lot of money as well, and there's a lot of approvals will start. But this is going to be the next big thing. Okay, till now we know what happened. This is going to be the next big thing. Got it? So that is the complete review and analysis of not only Laurus Labs but also what is happening, what happened in the past, what is happening currently, and what is going to happen in the future with respect to the pharma industry. Now we know, now you know, now I know what is going to happen in the pharma industry. Now boss, come, we will start finding some good companies in the pharma industries. When they're ready to go here, they're not ready yet. The pharma companies are not ready yet. It's like EV, right? EV का trend आएगा 5 साल के बाद. अभी start हो रहा है सब EV का trend. If you saw recently, Tata Power got another big order from Maharashtra government to install those EV charging stations, right? So I told you this is going to happen. EV is something that is going to do really well, and Tata is going to win it. Now we need to find out pharma company mein who's going to win. And pharma company mein, it's not like everyone does the same thing. Everyone's doing small things, different things. So we can find out, and I will do this is my job. I will start finding out the next 5 years ke liye pharma companies who are getting ready to attack this new market, and we will win. EV, we already know who are getting ready. Let's find out in pharma companies for 5 years, not now. Okay, so ek saal mein upar nahi gaya, rona mat. We will only talk about 5 years. Cool, awesome. Did you guys understand? Please let me know if you guys understood. If you didn't understand, let me know. I will repeat this and I will talk about it again if you didn't understand. So please let me know if you guys understood, then I will be very happy. Because my job is to come and teach you guys. It's not like I'm here on a time limit. मैं आपको पढ़ाऊंगा और फिर निकल जाऊंगा. So आप बताओ if it was fine. Now, apart from that, let's quickly look at what is happening in the market as well. Next, I don't know how many of you saw this, but Nasdaq had a very bad time. बहुत गंदा था. Look at this. Nasdaq again fell by around 4% on April 29th. It fell by 4%, and that means Monday is going to be a bloodbath, right? Monday it's going to fall. It's going to fall so bad. Now this is the Nasdaq Composite Index, daily chart, right? And this is the support that it had taken. Now if it breaks this, it's going to fall down maybe to somewhere. First it will go till here, at least minimum. And if that happens, and if it breaks this and goes into this new channel, it's a 10%, 12% drop. Now if that happens, a 12% drop happens, hopefully it should not happen because we're all bull guys, right? We don't like to be bear. Then the Nifty market will also fall by 10-12%. Now the Nifty market falls from its current position to 10-12%, exactly where we are predicting that it should go down and then take a recovery and bounce back up. The worst case scenario that is going to happen, right? And I don't want this to happen because this is not good for it. I wanted to break out from this barrier of 18,000 जो उसका limit बन चुका है. 3 बार it's hit 18,000. I wanted to break this out and just fly ahead. But for it to break out 18,000, which is a very big psychological level, we need a market which is in a bull sentiment, right? We need some good news is coming out. अभी क्या चल रहा है ना market में? Only bad news is coming out. Every day there's some bad news. अरे रशिया ने पुनः वापस अटैक कर दिया यूक्रेन को, चाइना में वापस कोविड के लॉकडाउन हो गया. So when lot of negative news keep coming now, these US guys are also scaring us a lot. Number 2, your Berkshire Hathaway is not doing good revenue. They also lost revenue this last quarter. So ये सब देख के ना people start getting scared, and then the negative sentiment kicks in. That is when all of these things keep coming down. Okay, got it? So just hope that whenever something like this happens and whenever the market is going up, so it should not do the same thing, right? Now someone is saying what is greenfield expansion and brownfield expansion. Okay, so let me tell you what that is. So expansion means I want to do expansion into another country. So I'm a company and I want to start expanding into another company, right? Now what is greenfield expansion? Greenfield expansion means a parent company, say Laurus Labs, okay, the main company, the main company on top, the parent company opens a subsidiary company in another country. So what greenfield basically means, पूरा starting से investment करो. So what will happen? I have to go abroad, find a jagah, find land, set up a new company, and then make that manufacturing plant in the new country. That is greenfield. Greenfield expansions usually take a lot of time. Okay, number 1. Then we have something called as brownfield expansion. Now what is brownfield expansion, right? This is an expansion when a company or a government entity basically purchases or leases an existing production facility. Okay, basically they'll go and buy one existing facility and they will make it their use. Now what happens here? It is faster. I don't have to spend so much time by buying a new company. And फिर वो side by side I'll set up a new company and eventually merge it under this. But this is basically what people do is they just go and buy a company. That's it. They just go buy the manufacturing plant So it is not starting from scratch. So that way, greenfield and brownfield. Greenfield takes a lot of time, बहुत लंबा process है, but you start from scratch. Brownfield में you might have to pay a small premium to buy a company, but you start quite interestingly. The third one is called turnkey projects. Okay, turnkey projects is you hire an external person and you tell him, Sun, Africa में there's this company called Kututu, right? You just call them and say, Sun, I want इतना बड़ा manufacturing plant, इतना capacity का, please do it and give it for me, and I want this entire thing. ये घर बनाने जैसा है, right? So that guy, the Kututu guy in Africa, will basically be like this turnkey project manager who will find the land, who will build the place, who will make it exactly like how you want. Basically आपका घर बना के दे देगा, and they'll come and give you the key. But that is more expensive, right? That is for people who don't have the time and don't have the energy to go set up a manufacturing plant. But उसमें cost ज़्यादा होता है. So these are the three ways that people. Shashank, please share the con call PDF. Yeah. Don't worry. I will share all of this. This is all for you guys only. It is not for me. So all this information is for you guys. So I will share all of this with you itself. Okay. Oh, wow. Nice, no? Good. It's very interesting, right, guys? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I find all of this very interesting to understand what is happening in the pharmaceutical space, how it is evolving, what is going through with. Let's check. Someone said what is happening with Gland Pharma. Let's look at that. So it's very interesting because all these companies are into different. See this. Gland Pharma is primarily a contract manufacturer of injectables with a B2B segment of generating 96% of revenue. So they're very strong in the injectable space, currently trading at 52,000 crore market cap right now, right? And if you look at that 1 year chart, no returns in 1 year. Their P ratio is in fact lower right now. And if you look at their 5 year chart, dekhte, actually not much returns since the time they've launched. So it's not very interesting right now yet, 50,000 crore market cap. But let's look at their profit and loss. Profit and loss, beautiful jump. Just look at these numbers. Right? This is a profitable company, but then beautiful net profit after tax, good EPS growth. But the question comes here, ki boss, look at this, reserves and surplus, 6,500 crores, borrowings, bullshit, nothing is there. Good cash flow from good cash flow from operations. Look at this, promoters growth not going down at all, right? So my question here is, if all of this looks so beautifully good, then why is the stock price not reflecting that, right? Very interesting. Why is the stock price not reflecting that? So that means, is it overvalued, or people are not seeing any potential in this, or is it something that people have not realized the potential and we have realized it slightly earlier on? Because from a fundamental standpoint, it is doing well. From a quarter on quarter growth also, there is a good amount of growth. See now, September to December quarter, no growth at all. But again, I will do my research. Okay, that is on me. Leave it up to me. I will do my research and find out what is the next big company, right, in the pharmaceutical space. Is it Gland Pharma? Is it Laurus Labs? Is it some other company? And why is this not going up? वो मेरा lookout है, मैं करके दूंगा आपके लिए, ठीक है? That I will do after I come back from my trip. But I will find out what is the best pharma company that we should invest for the next 5 years. Yeah, Natco Pharma. There are so many pharma companies, guys. There's so many pharma companies. Look at this. It's right here. There's Divis Labs. Divis Labs also is a very strong company, but it's already in the 1 lakh crore market cap. And you know me, right? I like to find companies that are in the 10,000 to 20,000 zone, 20,000 market cap zone, and hold them till 1 lakh. Right? That was what when we found Tata Elxsi, it was in 20,000 crore market cap. When we found Laurus Labs, 20,000 crore market cap. Now all of them have doubled, and I'm very happy, right? So my job is to find 10,000 to 20,000 crore market cap multi-baggers, and then eventually I wanted to go up. Cool? Got it? Awesome. I don't know why I'm getting really exhausted today. I think I've spoken a bit too much. Anyway, today was this was a quick episode on how to understand what is happening in the pharmaceutical space. A quick deep dive into Laurus Labs discussion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys like this. We will do the Berkshire Hathaway some other time. Let me create a report for it. But just to give you guys a small idea of what happened at the Berkshire event. So Laurus Labs the same. So Warren Buffett's company actually made a small revenue loss this year. Their operating profit was also lower. That is why you will see that the share price of Berkshire Hathaway also fell down. Right? Let me show you. Berkshire Hathaway A, okay, A class. This is what we are holding as well. So the share price actually fell down by around 3%. It will fall down even more, I think, when the market opens tomorrow. They are investing. So weirdly, I'll tell you what they're doing. So Warren Buffett is actually now investing very heavily in oil companies. So oil companies, 2 oil companies, he's taken such big positions that they are basically investing $40 billion in just these 2 oil companies, right? I'll tell you which those 2 oil companies are. Wait, one is Chevron and the other one is, I think, Occidental. See, one is Chevron. Look at this. Berkshire Hathaway boosts bet on oil ahead of shareholder meeting, makes Chevron fourth largest investment. Now fourth largest investment of Warren Buffett is Chevron. मतलब कुछ तो भाई ने देखा है. I don't know what he's seen, but I'm going to also look at it, do my own research, obviously, because I'm not going to sit on his research, and I'm going to start investing if it's good. So the four companies that he's invested heavily are Chevron Corporation, Occidental Petroleum Corporation. This also has improved his stake. He's bought more and more shares of this company, Exxon and BP, right? So I don't know why he's buying so much stake into oil companies, but he has 14% stake now in Occidental Petroleum, right? And also massive stake in Chevron, $25 billion in Chevron. So now this is very interesting to understand कि भाई इतना oil पे क्यों game खेल रहा है, what is going to happen in the future, is it a temporary trend, because whenever Warren buys something he usually buys it for a very long period of time. So I need to see what this guy is doing, and this is very interesting for it. Okay, awesome. So I'm not going to go too deep into this. I'm back. Okay, so guys, couple of things. So I'm taking a small vacation to Leh Ladakh. I'm going there for 10 days. I'll be back on 12th May itself. But what I'm doing is today and tomorrow I'm shooting some videos and keeping it for you, right? I'm pre-recording some videos and keeping it for you, which is going to be very valuable. Now what are the some of the videos that I'm shooting for you? I'll tell you. I'm shooting a video on how to find good stocks through Screener. So I'm actually going to go through Screener. I'm going to give you the parameters to look at how I find good stocks, right? So I'll show you all the parameters I use and try to find out which good stocks are good, which stocks are bad. So I'm going to give a very quick brief idea about that. I'm also going to tell you how I basically find these penny stocks, or how I've invested in like 4 penny stocks right now, which I don't come and tell you guys so easily because it's very risky. But I'll tell you how I find and look at penny stocks, number 2, and a few other episodes on Superstar portfolio tracking. So I'm going to do that because I keep tracking the Superstar portfolio a lot. So a couple of videos there. But if you have any more suggestions you want me to pre-record and keep it by the time I come back, then you let me know and I will do it for you, right? So you let me know in the comments ki boss aisa ek video banao, waisa ek video banao. So let me know. Okay, someone, Aditya is asking what is your verdict on Lotus Labs. I would still hold because it's not broken down like I thought it would after the bad results. It's testing my patience, I would say, but sometimes patience gets rewarded. So Lotus Labs, even though everything's looking bad, I'm more interested in the other segments doing well. So if the other segments continue to do well, then obviously we will make a lot of money in Lotus Labs by the next year, right? Abhi it's at 580 rupees. If it goes to and reaches $1 billion market cap, it will definitely go to 700-800 rupees. We can expect 40 to 50% gain, right? So that is again good. Someone, Aryan is asking, should we wait for Tata Elxsi to correct before entry? I think it's corrected a lot right now. I don't know if it's corrected even more, but thoda bahut correction ho chuka hai. So I think you can wait little more, I would say, because see, I'll tell you what, why am I saying wait little more? Because the market is gaya boss, market kharab ho chuka hai abhi. Monday is going to be a bloodbath, and let's wait because then the interest rate is going to go up. So I think there is more expectation of correction coming in. So I would suggest thoda small amounts you can start investing as an SIP, but the market, let it go down and then let it start bouncing back. That's when we'll start investing. Now it is going to go down. So if you invest right now, problem ho jayega, right? Because your share price, your percentage will go down. Okay, so can we add Lotus? I'm saying wait, Monday the share price, the market is going to go down on Monday. Uske baad thoda, Monday is a good day to invest, right? Because market is going to go down easily by some 700-800 points. I'm assuming because of what happened in Nasdaq, right? If it reacts to that, niche jayega, and that is a good opportunity for all of us to buy while doing swing trade, normal trade, and intraday, everything. Okay, so all of these things are going to happen. Okay, chalo guys, this is me, Shashank Udupa, signing off. My throat is gone today. I've been ranting for so long. This is me, Shashank Udupa, signing off. If you like this episode, please click on the like button, subscribe, and boss, leave your comments below about what is happening, what new videos you want. And I've also made a new shorts channel. You can check that out. If you want to get more information from me, you can follow me on Instagram and you can follow me on Twitter as well. Okay, this is me, Shashank Udupa, signing off. Take care, guys. Bye. Love you guys.